Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Now let's catch up with the latest transfer news, including the latest on Mosquera and Gyokores. And Gyokores is the big one, so let's start with that one. Obviously, the players have now arrived in Singapore. The preseason tour the serious preseason tour is now officially on. We are playing against Newcastle, AC Milan, and Tottenham. Actually, the game against AC Milan is on Wednesday. That is the games that we wanted Gyokores to be part of, but unfortunately, he's not signed for Arsenal yet. So, what's the latest on him? Is he going to surprise us and be part of that AC Milan game? Will he be an Arsenal player this coming week? Let's start with all the updates that we have from Portugal, from Fabrizio, from Hand of Arsenal. And this is what Record Portugal have had to say today. Hassan, Victor Gyokores' agent, joined the 27-year-old Swedish international this Sunday in Mallorca, a sign that next week could bring news about the striker situation. So, according to the Portuguese outset, his agent has now arrived in Spain, where Victor Gyokores is. And this could be a sign that they're going to be moving to England very soon to finalize that deal. They're moving closer. So, we have to wait and see. We also have updates from Fabrizio and Hand of Arsenal, but that is the latest from the agent, according to where the agent is and how much he's trying to finalize the deal. Obviously, he was in England, or he was in London for like 4 days this week, but the deal wasn't quite finalized, obviously, because of the add-ons and all the issues in terms of that. Remember, these two guys, Gyokores and his agent, have already given up their money to make it possible for him to join Arsenal. And the way we're told that Atta is pushing for the move to happen before we play against AC Milan. Unfortunately, it's now 3 days until we play against AC Milan. So could it be done by then? Maybe, but will he be available for that game? I doubt. So that will already mean that he's missed 2 preseason games if you include the one against Watford that we played behind closed doors over the weekend. So not ideal, because for me, I wanted players like Gyokores to be there for preseason from the start, to train with the team, to play the games, to get ready for next season, because not only because the start of the season is difficult against Liverpool, Man United, and all these guys, but because we've seen these days when you're competing against Liverpool and Man City, you cannot just say, okay, fine, we're just going to wait for September to finalize our deals. By the time you get to September, you could easily be 6 points behind Liverpool and Man City. And as we've seen, since we started competing for the league again, even 6 points by September, it's very difficult to catch up. You cannot just say, okay, there's 36 games remaining, we're going to catch up. There's 30 games remaining, we can catch up. No, when those teams get 6 points out of you, you're in trouble already. So you need to stay top or stay with them. The most points they should be ahead of you is like 2-3 points all the way to like next year. So you have to be serious from day one, and you want a player like Gyokores to be there from day one. So that is from Record Portugal. Hand of Arsenal had this to say: Arsenal and the camp of Victor Gyokores are very relaxed about the situation. There is constant communication. Important to choose my words carefully during the final sensitive steps. The player awaits the signal to fly for his medical. One source tells me he was in Mallorca yesterday, but I'm yet to confirm that. Allow me the grace to report and when health permitting. Okay. So yeah, quick recovery to Hand of Arsenal. So he says that it was mentioned that he would be in Mallorca, and Record Portugal have announced that he is actually in Mallorca today. So those are 2 different outlets reporting that. So could be accurate that the agent is in Spain. Now, if you combine that with the fact that we had that he was moving his things from his house in Portugal, and his brother just followed Arsenal on Instagram and all that, it's looking very likely that it's going to happen soon. Now, we always get updates on Gyokores on Sundays. 2 weeks ago is when we first heard that Arsenal have now left the Cesco deal, and you're now pushing for Gyokores. And then a week ago, David Onsley reported that Arsenal and Sporting had finally agreed a fee, but the add-ons is what has been a problem this week. So are we going to get any more news today? Are we going to have a breakthrough finally to allow Gyokores to finally join Arsenal? I really hope so, man. This guy has been begging to join Arsenal for the last 1 month. I mean, he's probably seen the rest of the team heading to Singapore already. I'm sure he'd have been wanted to be part of that, to bond with the team and all that, because if he joins Arsenal, when he joins Arsenal, he's going to be a starting striker from day one against Man United. So you want him to be ready, you want him to sign the signature and have like a month to train with the team. You saw the way Jesus joined Arsenal very early, and Jesus was very good that season. From the beginning of this, from pre-season, actually, he was scoring hat-tricks and doubles. He was bonding with the team, mending the team, adapting to the system, and by the time the season started, Jesus was already proper hot. He had already scored almost 10 goals for Arsenal Arsenal in pre-season, he was shining. So that is the kind of the same thing you want with Victor Gyokores. You wanted to move quickly and for him to be ready for that as well. Now, that was from Andrew of Arsenal. What about Fabrizio? What had Fabrizio had to say about this? This is what he's had to say. So Victor Gyokores maintains his clear position despite links with Man United and more clubs. He wants Arsenal. Total priority to Arsenal project since June and no change of plans with agent Hassan Sentikaya on the same page with Gyokores. So there was rumors earlier today that Man United wanted that they're back for Gyokores. Personally, I'm not worried about any of the teams coming for him. For me, I'm still 100% sure Gyokores is going to be an Arsenal player. I would have wanted it to happen before the players traveled to Singapore, but that